San Diego, California, discovered in 1542, often called America's finest city, with its miles and miles of white sandy beaches, countless tourist attractions, and of course, the amazing Southern California weather. This year, it played host to the 96th Annual American Farm Bureau Federation meeting. I'm Kenny Burgamy. Coming up, we'll recap the major issues discussed at this year's convention, see what's new and innovative in the farming industry, and we'll hear from American Farm Bureau President Bob Stallman to get his outlook for 2015. These stories and more straight ahead on the Georgia Farm Monitor.
This is the Georgia Farm Monitor. Since 1966, your source for state and national agribusiness news and features for farmers and consumers about Georgia's #1 industry, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by the state's largest general farm organization, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now, here are your hosts, Ray DeLessio and Kenny Burgamy.
Hey there! So glad you could join us for another edition of the Georgia Farm Monitor. I'm Ray DeLessio.
And I'm Kenny Burgamy. As promised, a complete recap of this year's AFBF convention coming up here in just a bit. Also on the program, we'll take you to the annual Georgia Peanut Show and tell you what new ideas were passed along to farmers to help plan the upcoming peanut crop on the farm. Mark Wildman reports on that.
Plus, Ranger Nick's back with an all-new segment on how vultures are nature's best friend when it comes to cleaning up the environment. All this and more starting right now on the Georgia Farm Monitor.
And without further delay, let's begin in beautiful San Diego. For those of you that have attended American Farm Bureau's annual meeting in the past, then you know firsthand it's a time to unite as one, a time to hear the opinions of agricultural leaders and get their views on the current state of the farming industry. It's also a time to put aside the daily stresses of life and enjoy the sights and sounds around you. There were lots of sights in and around San Diego for the folks from Georgia to take in before getting started with any official business. One day before the members attended the opening session of this year's convention, the Georgia delegation had the privilege of having breakfast and guided tours on one of San Diego's most prominent tourist attractions, the USS Midway aircraft carrier.
Right. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's
It was a chance to explore over 60 exhibits and 27 restored aircraft aboard the authentic U.S. Navy aircraft carrier that's located in the harbor. That's where we caught up with one farmer that hasn't missed an AFBF convention since 1969. It just so happens he's the oldest traveling delegate from Georgia. That's Bullock County's Lanny Lee.
I would, if I had to do it over again, I would do it. I'm proud I was able to serve. And I would do it again if we called on.
Lee told us it was a thrill to walk the flight deck of the Midway and that it brings back memories of his service during World War II.
But it's quite an experience, and I don't think I'll ever forget it either.
During the San Diego trip, we did catch up with Georgia Farm Bureau President Zippy Duvall. He told us Lanny's attendance was an inspiration to others.
You know, when you look at our organization, you see so many people that I call them seasoned. I mean, they've been part of our organization for a long time. They've been in agriculture. They've served their community and their country and their communities in so many different ways. And we continue to see these people keep coming back. And when you're a younger person and you see people like Lanny Lee, who is 94 years old now, that's took time out of his schedule and in his stage of life to come all the way across the country to tend to the business of agriculture, it just overwhelms me, the dedication and the value he has in what we do for our communities and for agriculture.
The expansive San Diego Convention Center set along the Pacific Ocean at Bayfront, formed between Coronado Island and downtown San Diego. It's a place to enjoy sights and sounds of Southern California culture near Seaport Village. This year's theme of the convention stressed tradition, perseverance, and vision. AFBF President Bob Stallman addressed those issues facing agriculture during his opening remarks.
But whether it's a shortage of labor or water, or floods, or hail, or windstorms, too much heat, or too much cold, farmers and ranchers across America keep working to farm another day. If you've been involved in agriculture for decades, you know that whether prices are up or down, America's farmers and ranchers are tenacious in their drive to plant next year's crops.
And is tradition, the annual trade show where attendees can discuss the hot issues, look at the newest and best ideas, plus the future of the ag industry. President Duvall reiterated the importance of this convention and making sure that Georgia is always represented.
Well, I hope that when they leave here, they say, wow, this is really something we need to be part of. And this, you know, what we believe in, what our organization does for us, what agriculture does for our communities, this is important, that we continue to come back and strengthen the voice of not just Georgia agriculture, but American agriculture, so that our friends and neighbors, 98% of the population that doesn't have the opportunity to farm anymore, so that they can really understand how caring we are and how much we care about the quality of food and how we treat our animals and how we take care of our natural resources. All that stuff is just so important, and it just re-energizes everybody and makes them want to go back home and talk about it.
All right, nice job, Kenny. Well, staying in San Diego, the trip out west proved to be a memorable one for Brittany Ivy of Stevens County. Ivy, who won the state discussion meet here at Jekyll Island back in December, advanced to the Sweet 16 in San Diego. And although she came up short of reaching her goal of the Final Four, Ivy says she has no regrets.
Oh, this has just been an absolutely wonderful opportunity for me. And if for nothing else, the opportunity to come somewhere like San Diego and see this different, beautiful scenery. I would have never been afforded this opportunity if it wasn't for my participation in this Farm Bureau discussion meet.
Meantime, Tricia Lastly of Madison County competed in the Excellence in Agriculture contest. Now, this award recognizes young farmers who earn the majority of their income away from production agriculture. Lastly, an ag teacher at Madison County High School, stressed during her presentation the importance of getting involved in agriculture and the variety of ways it can be done.
Whatever their interest is in agriculture, to grab hold of that and be involved with that, whether it be teaching someone else about agriculture or planting your own garden. So whatever you are interested in, be involved with that aspect of agriculture.
And while in San Diego, Georgia's own Jake Carter finished his one-year term as chair of the National Young Farmers and Ranchers Committee. Carter telling the Monitor that the last year has been a rewarding experience.
Being able to meet just so many different personalities and farming operations and different viewpoints on agriculture from all across the country. It's just been a tremendous honor to travel the country and meet all those different folks as on my way.
All right, up next, our coverage from San Diego continues. What can livestock producers expect in the coming year? Damon Jones spoke to one expert on that subject.
And then later, they may not be the prettiest things to look at, but without vultures, our world and agriculture as we know it would be worse off than you think. We're back right after this.
About 14 years ago, we started the dairy. So growing up, was real involved with helping on the farm, and my parents always made sure that we got the farm upbringing and had to work, and that's how we made our money. And through high school and growing up, is there was no handouts. You worked and we got paid. What I love about farming is just the challenges every day of it. It's an exciting industry. There's a lot of potential growth to it, and it's great to be able to own your own business and face those challenges on your own. The capital needs that a young growing business requires, and trying to always be able to have that good relationship with the banker and making sure that we have what we need to continue to grow and thrive here. Trying to grow in an industry that's becoming more and more dynamic, more and more technology driven, and trying to stay on that cutting edge and constantly working to become better and produce a better product while also making money at the same time.
All right, welcome back everybody to the Georgia Farm Monitor. Well, it was a record-breaking year for livestock producers in 2014 as tight supplies and heavy demand led to unprecedented prices.
But will that trend continue heading into this new year? Damon Jones attended the annual Livestock Outlook session and tells you why optimism is very high.
Hundreds of cattlemen from all around the country gathered here in San Diego for the annual Outlook session to get the latest update on the industry. And the consensus is that it's never been a better time to be in the business than right now, as a perfect storm of events in 2014 provided the biggest margins that producers have ever seen.
We had very tight supplies, and we had improving meat and milk demand throughout the whole complex. That enabled us to have those higher output prices for the livestock complex. And on the feed cost side, it's pretty well documented. We have a lot of corn in the world. Corn prices have come down, and other feedstuffs also that are important for the livestock industry have come down. So when you add that up, if you increase revenue and you decline cost, margins went up. 2014 is a really good year for most of the livestock industry.
With those types of prices, it's no surprise that many are looking to get into the industry or expand their herd. However, it's not likely to make an impact on the tight supplies anytime in the near future.
We're looking forward to the January cattle inventory report. I think it's going to say more heifers are being retained. I think the wheels of motion of expanding are well in play, but that's a multi-year process for the beef industry. Some of the numbers I shared were 10 years from now, we might have 16% more cows. That's USDA's current projections.
While 2015 is projected to be another banner year for cattlemen, there are some factors that need to be taken into account for those looking to expand their operation.
There is more money tied up in being in these industries than there was in the past. There's more capital at stake. We're in a global environment, things like geopolitical risk, some of those things that can shock these base fundamentals. I'm largely talking supply and demand fundamentals here, but if we have a geopolitical outbreak, or if GDP growth isn't what we expect and some of those kind of things in 2015, then that could mute some of this bullishness. But in aggregate, I think the stars are aligned for a very good 2015 for most in the livestock industry.
On the export front, smaller supplies means less pounds being shipped overseas. However, despite the drop in tonnage, the international market is still as strong as ever.
It's important to distinguish between pounds and value. So we continue to have very strong values of exports, even though some of the tonnage is down in different cases. And then I'll put the long-term spin on this is USDA and others are projecting actually exports of pretty much all the commodities I talked about today to continue to increase. And the large reason for that is the U.S. In econ speak has a comparative advantage in producing many of those things, whether it's beef, pork, broiler meat, whatever it is. And the world has a growing appetite for those same items. So we're sitting here ready to supply it.
As for advice to cattlemen heading into the new year, Tonser believes that the more information you can gather, the more successful decisions you're likely to make.
So my general advice there is to be informed and aware, and if you do that and you still like the general situation, which I think most producers will, then you're positioned to expand or reinvest in different ways in your business if you choose to.
Reporting from San Diego, I'm Damon Jones for the Georgia Farm Monitor.
Well, a reminder for you, if you missed any part of this story or others on today's show, you can still see them in their entirety at our YouTube channel. That's the Georgia Farm Monitor. Once there, browse the archive of stories dating as far back as 2009.
Yeah, and of course, once you're done watching all those stories, just keep on clicking. Like the Georgia Farm Monitor Facebook page we have set up for you. Also, if you have a story idea, or if you just want to leave us a comment or suggestion, feel free to send us a message either on Facebook or at the address listed below. You see it there. That is news@farm-monitor.com.
Well, the Georgia Peanut Farm Show brings peanut producers from all over Georgia and other southern states to Tifton to see all the latest farm equipment, get updates on new technologies, and network with their fellow peanut producers.
And the Monitor's Mark Wildman was at the show and has this report.
At this year's Georgia Peanut Farm Show, producers were able to get an up-close look at a wide variety of equipment and other products that will benefit their farming operations.
Tifton, Georgia is the place for, if you're a peanut farmer, to be today. I mean, everything to do with peanuts is here. Harvesting, growing, seed, yes, anything to do with a peanut is here today. I mean, you can learn just about anything.
The Georgia Peanut Commission organizes this event every year as an effort to support the Georgia peanut industry.
Of course, we have other people that may not be related directly to peanuts that come here, whether it's in some type of equipment that's manufactured, cotton folks as far as seed varieties and things, they are here too. So the peanut farmer is involved with cotton also, so it's just good for the total industry. And it helps farmer to make decisions for the future and what he's doing this year.
Inside the trade show, there were large pieces of field equipment on display for farmers to walk around and see, small unmanned aerial vehicles, and even items designed to help protect and enhance the soil.
And then we have some new developments so far as chemicals too. some of the companies have some new chemicals that they are putting out this year. So that's very important that they can show the farmer and whether he can try it on his farm this year and see how it works with his peanuts.
Not only did farmers get an opportunity to visit with vendors, they also got to hear from experts in the industry as well. UGA Extension research personnel gave presentations on a variety of different topics that can help farmers grow a healthier crop and boost their yields. All farmers are business people, and they have to be aware of their bottom line. And there is a lot of pricing pressure on peanuts this season. Even though farmers will see a big boost in lower fuel prices, the contracts farmers are being offered are low.
There were initial contracts at $400 a ton offered by some shellers around the state, and so that's the first offering that we've seen of contracts, and that's $25 probably on average lower than what contracts were offered last year on peanuts.
All this means the farmers will have to cut costs where they can.
I think that with the economy like it is, the supplies, world supplies, we're in 2 years of, let's say, challenging conditions. And so it's going to be important that we make good, sound decisions and not spend any, let's say, extra dollars per acre if we can help it.
Also at the show, there were numerous awards given out to friends of the industry for all of the work they do to help peanut producers. And the Outstanding Georgia Young Peanut Farmer of the Year award was given to Tift County's Andrew Grimes. Congratulations to him, and a big thank you goes out to all the farmers who grow this famous Georgia crop. Reporting from Tift County, I'm Mark Wildman for the Georgia Farm Monitor.
When we come back, some fascinating things you may not have known about vultures and the benefits they provide to both agriculture and the environment, as told by only Ranger Nick himself. That's next when the Georgia Farm Monitor continues. Stay with us.
All right, the Georgia Farm Monitor continues now. An update to a story we did just a couple of months ago. Congratulations to Oliver Farms in Pitts, Georgia, whose pecan oil recently won top honors at the Good Food Awards in San Francisco in the oils category. According to its website, the Good Food Award seal found on winning products assures consumers they have found something exceptionally delicious that also supports sustainability and social good. And finally today, he is back. Hold on. Ranger Nick kicks off his first segment of 2015 talking about an animal that I'm sure many of us find uneasy on the eyes.
This is actually a pretty fun shoot, I gotta admit. Yeah, but despite their appearance and the things they eat, vultures, says Ranger Nick, have a much needed place in our society.
I know what you're thinking. You're telling me I stuck around until the end of this show to watch this guy this month, and he's going to talk about vultures? You're absolutely right, we are. And notice that I didn't say buzzards. I said vultures. They really get offended at that. Buzzards are actually birds that live over in Europe. We're going to talk about two different kinds of vultures this month, black and turkey vultures, the differences between them, and what this world would be like without them. They are critical. Okay, so in Vultures 101, let's talk about the differences between turkey vultures and black vultures. If you're living in the southeast, chances are you're seeing both of them, but you're probably seeing more black vultures than turkey vultures. Black vultures, completely black head, and notice that it's bald, and bald is beautiful in the vulture world. So black vultures, completely black head, and if you see them flying, the tips of their wings have little white feathers, white little fingertips on the edges of their wings. And they typically will fly flap, 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 soar, flap, 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 soar. Sounds kind of like a song. Turkey vultures, on the other hand, completely reddish colored head like a turkey, white tip on the end of their beak, and their body much bigger than a black vulture's. Turkey vultures will soar on the thermals in the sky, flapping very little, while a black vulture will flap, 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 kind of like that. Both are very, very common throughout the southeast, but if you're down in the south, black vultures are going to be the ones that you're going to see more often. And when you see them, you're going to see them together because they're very much a community kind of a bird. They're going to work together because, believe it or not, turkey vultures have much better sense of smell than black vultures do. So black vultures are kind of lazy. They're going to look for turkey vultures, and where there are turkey vultures, black vultures will be there. Black vultures do not have a very good sense of smell at all, but both have that completely bald head. And what a great addition in an ecosystem to be cleaning up all that carrion. So let's carrion to the next topic. Okay, so maybe I've convinced you that they're a pretty cool bird. Black vultures, turkey vultures, but why are we talking about them? What would the world be like without these guys? Well, just imagine all of the dead animals you may see driving down the road, all of the things that die in the environment, even when we put turkey and chicken litter out on our fields to fertilize that ground, all those scraps of those parts of those bodies, those vultures are eating that and taking care of all that potential disease that could be in the ecosystem. That disease can impact not only deer and other wildlife, but it can impact us. And so without those birds, our health and safety would be jeopardized. A critical animal to have in the environment. Okay, so black vulture, turkey vulture. Let's see you see one of these guys, and you're wanting to come up on it and kind of get a closer look. Let's start from the feet and work our way up to the head. First of all, these guys are standing flat-footed on the ground. They are not at all like an owl, a hawk, falcon, or eagle with talons and feet that can grip. Their feet are flat, and they don't have very much gripping power at all. In fact, they're more similar to a stork than anything. You'll find that their feet and their legs are white, and that is no coincidence because those birds will actually poop on their legs. Not only does that cool their legs as that evaporates and acts as a cooling effect, but it also, that uric acid in their body goes down on their legs and actually cleans their legs. Because if you think about it, they're standing in dead stuff all of the time. So that uric acid is burning away bacteria and helping to keep them really clean. So moving our way up the body a little bit more, they're black in color. So you've got something that attracts sunlight, and often you'll see a black or turkey vulture sitting in the sun with their wings wide open. They're not just doing that waiting for a hug from somebody. They're doing that to attract ultraviolet rays. And those ultraviolet rays burn away bacteria because they're always around dead stuff. Pretty cool fact. Work your way up to their head and their neck. Their neck is actually a lot longer than it seems on their body, but their head is completely bald. Their head is inside of a dead animal, getting out all that good stuff that they want to eat. And if you notice their beak is long with a little hook on the end, and their nostrils are way up their beak. Because I don't know about you, but I hate to get food in my nostrils. It's never any fun. So they are able to breathe when their beak is inside of something and eating. Incredible stuff, but I gotta tell you, don't get too close when you see them out in the wild because the way that they defend themselves, projectile vomiting, up to 6 feet from their body. Well, man, this has been a great time again with you, kicking off the 2015 season of Ranger Nick, talking about something that maybe I've convinced you is a lot more beneficial than maybe you thought at the top of the segment. Well, I'll tell you what, we have got a brand new way to keep in touch over this next year. I have finally joined the rest of the world and started a Facebook page, so you can go onto Facebook and look for Ranger Nick on Facebook. And while you're on there, if you want to go to my page and like that, go on to the Georgia Farm Monitor page and like that. We're both linked in there. Ask me questions, post things and ideas that you got. Man, what a cool way for us to keep in touch all over the country when we get a chance to get together. Well, I tell you what, enthusiasm is contagious. And like I always say, we want to pass it on. And in this next year, I can't wait to spend more time with you. For the Georgia Farm Monitor, I'm Ranger Nick. Have a great rest of the month. We'll see you right back here next time. See ya.
I'm sorry, I know they're beneficial to us, but I just can't get past the look. Ugh. No. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the Georgia Farm Monitor.
As always, a reminder for all the latest ag info regarding food, great recipes, and what's happening down on the farm. Check out our Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest pages. You'll stay informed and see what's up in the world of farming, plus this Farm Monitor show.
Take care. We'll see you next week, everybody, right back here on the Georgia Farm Monitor.
Have a great week.